Okay, so once your entire presentation is all done, the very last thing that we want you guys to do is make it so it's automatic. Right now, when I test out my slideshow, it looks good. However, for me to go from slide to slide and from point to point, I actually have to click every single time. And we want to show you guys how you can actually make this so it's all automated. So you start it and then that's it. You can just watch it go. So there's two types of things that you need to make automatic. Number one, you have to make it go from slide to slide automatic. And number two, you have to make it go point by point automatic. So I'm going to go to my second slide here. And this one, when I test it, I actually have each of these things coming in one at a time. So one up there, one there, one there, one there, and then one here. I'm going to go up to my animation pane. So if it's not open already, just click on animations up at the top and then click on animation pane. So right now, these are set so that they are only going to happen when you click the mouse. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on the first one, which is text box 2 up here, and I'm going to change it by hitting this little down arrow. So instead of it starting on a click, I want it to start after the previous thing. So then I can go again to the next one, and I want this one to start after previous, and then I want this one to start after previous, and then I want this one to start after previous, and so on. Now, if you want to save yourself some time, you can actually select all of them at once and choose start after previous, depending on how many you have. Okay, so now if I actually play this slide, let's see what happens. They all come in automatically. The only problem is they're kind of fast, like they're coming in really, really quick, and sometimes we want the audience to be able to kind of read the first line, and then make sure, they kind of absorb it before the second one comes in. So what we can do is we can actually change this a little bit by going back up here, and we're going to hit the down arrow and we're going to click timing. And when you choose timing, this pops up and we know it's going to start after the previous, but now we can put a delay. So for example, I'm going to put like a 1 second delay on this, and then I'll go to the next one and I'll go to timing, and maybe I'll put another 1 second delay. 1 second's pretty decent, especially for short little points. And like I was talking about before, you can actually select multiple ones. To select multiple ones, click the first one, hold down the shift button, select the last one, hit the down arrow, go to timing, and I can make all of them have a delay of 1 second. So now when I play the slide, I get the first one comes in, then the second one, so there's a second in between each of these. So that's a lot nicer. It just doesn't rush all the way in. If you have larger bits of text, you might want to make it 2 seconds, or maybe there's a picture you want someone to focus on, so you make it 3 seconds. You have to kind of decide that. So I'm just going to go through and do the same thing over here. So I've got this list that all comes up. I'm just going to go down to timing, and I'll put a delay of 1 second again. And then over here, I've got these two pictures that show up. I'll just do a timing, and maybe I'll do 2 seconds for this one, and then 2 seconds for this one. Again, you got to make sure that you're setting each of them to start not on a click, but actually after previous. So I got to remember to do that as well. Start after previous. So now there's a 2 second delay after the previous thing happens. I should go back up here, make sure I've done it. I can actually change it up here as well. So in addition to hitting the down arrow, which I've shown you, you can also do it up here at the top. So start after previous. And then the last one, I think I have the end coming in. I'll just once again go up to start after previous. And because there's no other animations on here, I don't need to set a timing. So now when I watch my presentation, I click and they all come in automatically. 1 second delay. But the problem is it won't change slides until I click. So I click again and they all come in, and I'm going to have to slow those down a little bit, I think. But right now I'm worried about all of these things that, the slide is not changing automatically. So what I need to do is I'm going to do it all at once. I'm going to select all my slides. So I'm going to click on the first slide right here. I'm going to hold down Shift, select the last slide. So now they're all selected. And instead of going up to animation, I'm going to go to transitions. Sorry, and on transitions at the right here, it's saying to advance the slide, you have to click the mouse. So I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to turn on an automated one after a certain amount of seconds. And now this is where you just have to play around. I'm going to put just a random, maybe every 5 seconds, just to see how that goes. The big thing is, once you've decided, you have to test the whole thing. And if it looks like it's taking, or it's not taking long enough, it goes really, really quick, you might have to extend it, because you don't want the items to come up so quick that as soon as the audience sees them, then it's gone. You want to give enough time that they can actually read everything. So I've made all of my slides a 5-second transition, and I could also make all of them maybe fade into one another by using the transition types up at the top. All right, so let's go back up to the very first slide, have a look at how this is looking. So this should last for about 5 seconds, and then it fades into the next one. And then I get 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. So these all come in. I have a 5-second delay on this slide. And then the very last one. From here, you just kind of have to tweak your settings how you like them, make sure your music is playing okay, and yeah, they should be good to go so we can watch them in class.